Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Thought Leadership webinar on how you can transform IT project management and streamline operations using Smartsheet. Today, we are privileged to have a group of exceptional experts who will talk about the significance of utilizing a comprehensive project management platform like Smartsheet, specifically for IT PMOs. I am Vidyulata Prakash, and I am the Director of Marketing at Intelliswift. We are very excited to have all of you here with us today, and we look forward to your active participation in the session. Today, the need to transform IT project management and streamline operations has become paramount. IT project managers must have the best tools to deliver projects in a fast-paced and ever-evolving business landscape. This is where Smartsheet steps in. The platform's flexibility and automation tools empower IT professionals to easily tackle complex projects, ensuring streamlined operations, timely delivery, and successful outcomes. As we go further in this webinar, our expert panelists will shed light on how businesses can embrace a more agile and data-driven approach using Smartsheet. And we will also talk about a few use cases that are specific to the technology industry. I will now introduce our panelists. Our esteemed panelists for today are subject matter experts and thought leaders associated with optimizing project management processes and tools for IT PMOs. First off, we have Kush Jain, who currently leads GTM partnerships at Smartsheet for Asia. He has over 15 years of experience helping some of the world's fastest growing SaaS companies. A very warm welcome to you, Kush. Next up is Tina Gosain, who is a commercial sales engineer at Smartsheet with over 20 years of experience in quality management, product development, consulting, and solution engineering. Tina is a trusted advisor for clients and the sales team. She designs and digitizes processes and provides the best practice information to potential and current customers by counseling them on the best ways to deploy solutions in Asia. Today, we also have a very special guest. We have Anupreet Malhotra, who is the Associate Director and Head of IT PMO at Acuity Knowledge Partners. She brings more than 15 years of experience in building and enabling IT enterprise program frameworks, in delivering strategic, financial, and business-driven value chain outcomes by designing and governing scalable and agile processes. A very warm welcome to you, Anupreet, and thank you so much for joining us today. Then we have Shekhar Anambotla, who is the Vice President of Solutions Engineering at Intelliswift, and he has been instrumental in transforming our customers' businesses. We also have Karthik Mohan on our panel today, and he's the AVP of Delivery at Intelliswift and a seasoned technologist with almost 2.5 decades of experience across IT services and solutions and a full-cycle product and platform engineering. So that's a bit about our speakers, and a very warm welcome to all of our speakers. So you can now see the agenda for today's webinar on your screens. We will have a live poll during the panel discussion segment. So please do participate in the poll to keep it interactive. So without further ado, I'd like to invite Kush Jain to introduce us to Smartsheet. Over to you, Kush.
Thank you, Vidyu, and it's great to be here, and welcome everyone to today's webinar. So just to get started, for those who haven't come across Smartsheet before, just as a brief introduction, Smartsheet is a single platform that's used for planning, managing, and executing our work across your organization. And organizations use Smartsheet to define and communicate strategy, execute on that strategy, and report on results that feed into the next set of strategic initiatives. So who are we as a company? So we were one of the first companies into this market. We call this market a collaborative work management, and we continue to lead it. We've been in business for over 17 years at this point and have over 3,000 employees around the world. We've got customers spanning all the way from North America to Europe, Middle East, and Asia, as well as in Africa. Our customer base is large and complex. As we've continued to grow, we're up to over 11 million connected users and about 130,000 customers at this point. And we have a strong focus towards enterprise with 80% of the Fortune 500 companies as well as 90% of the Fortune 100 that we call our customers. We partner with these companies and move well beyond collaborative work management, and we eventually end up as a critical platform and application that is used more broadly across these organizations. Global partners are a big area of focus for us, and we've continued to expand our set of both go-to-market partnerships as well as partnerships with different solution providers to really focus on deeper integrations and enable our customers to work the way they want to work and at the scale that they require. So why manage work in Smartsheet? So collaborative work management it's an essential category. And over the past 14 years that we've taken charge in the development of it, we've identified that the typical definition for what it is and the capabilities that are included really come up short, particularly at scale. The platform is the leader in CWM because it's the only platform which can not only do the strategic planning aspect of it, but it also really focuses on the operational excellence. So when we look at these 6 principles in the context of some of the more common enterprise solutions, which most people on this call are probably used to, like ERP systems, CRM systems, ITSM systems, these solutions index pretty well and pretty highly on security, scalability, and unification. But that's only if you're using them in a very linear and standardized way, and you're really kind of transacting with them. But where people need flexibility and you need user friendliness and you need agility, that's where these systems are typically quite rigid and kind of difficult to manipulate. And then on the other hand, when you think about kind of your low fidelity, what we call lightweight solutions, they're typically pretty good when it comes to adaptability and collaboration, and they can be quite intuitive as well. But where they typically fail the test is to meet the needs of large enterprises, particularly when it comes to things like security and governance, scalability, unification of people, and being able to integrate across different informations and systems. So, when you look at these kind of 6 features like security, scalability, unification, being user-driven, being user-driven is a really big one that we focus on because one of the most constrained resources that we have are developers. So when you think about some of the more traditional tools, you need someone who's really got pretty deep technical skills to be able to whip up things like dashboards and reports. And it's not something that the business user has traditionally had access to. So Smartsheet really lowers the barrier and allows teams and business users to just be a lot more agile and collaborative. So ultimately, our goal is to bring together the right people at the right time, wherever they are, so everyone can work together transparently in the context of their work. So we'll cover a bit more about the platform as we have this webinar, and you'll hear from Durjati and Tina about the platform. But essentially, if we think about it in 2 categories, there's collaborative work management capabilities that makes everybody's work life easier. So, think of capabilities like sheets, dashboards, forms, automations, formulas, reports. That's available for everybody. But then you've got what we have, your collaborative work management at scale. So typically, as businesses get larger, processes get more complex, and now you're not just managing a few projects, you've got a portfolio of projects across different departments. That's kind of where, we really start to show our true value and differentiation sort of amongst our peers in the market. So with that, I am going to hand it over to Shekhar.
Thank you, Kush. Thank you for a great introduction about Smartsheet. Yeah, just good morning, folks, and thank you so much for attending the webinar. Just a quick introduction about Intelliswift. Intelliswift is a global technology company headquartered in the Bay Area. We have close to 90 plus customers globally, offices in the US, delivery centers in India. We work with some of the leading technology companies like Google, Apple, Microsoft, a lot of customers in the banking, Walmart, retail, etc. Because of our association with leading technology and retail and other companies, we've really been a part of their core product development programs and strategic transformation project programs. As a result, we've seen and proven the value in leveraging Smartsheet for a lot of their projects. So we are glad to partner with Smartsheet and bring this to our customers in India as well. And we have all the expertise. We have a center of excellence for Smartsheet. We have certified resources based in India and have the experience of implementing these in the Indian market. So we'd be glad to work with you and understand where your challenges are and how we could help you in this journey with Smartsheet. So thank you again, and looking forward to working with you in the near future.
Thank you so much, Shekhar. We will now have our panelist, Tina Gosain, give us a brief overview of the tool, followed by a demo by Durjati Sen, who is the practice head for Smartsheet at Intelliswift. Over to you, Tina.
Thank you, Vidulata. And thank you again, everyone, for joining us today. I think Kush gave us a very good introduction of what a Smartsheet is and what it can do for you as a tool. But what I'm going to dive in today is talking more about leveraging Smartsheet within the IT industry, right? For IT managers, IT teams, and IT departments, and how they are using. Now, one of the things that I very often hear from speaking with people in this work front is, one of the challenges they're facing is the new hybrid work is now become normal, right? So that coupled along with the asset sprawl that they have, the different applications, what does that mean for the IT business technologists is that they are requiring new work practices and technologies all the time. So hybrid work along with the application sprawl is what that does to the IT is they often lose the sight of problems that can impact the business. And when we are talking about these application sprawl, I would probably put them into three main categories. So to begin with, they're the more modern applications, such as your collaborative work management solution that help work communication and collaboration. We then have a second category where we have these fit-to-purpose tools that fulfill specific departmental needs. And last but not the least are these legacy solutions that are built on technology, like old technologies, and are expensive to maintain. So with these different types of applications and people working in a remote hybrid environment, having these challenges with asset sprawl, what are these different applications kind of challenges that it's bringing up for the IT managers? Is that a lot of these CWM solutions are not mature or secure enough, which can lead to like a security risk or even a tech overlap for IT to manage. The other thing that I very often hear is the fit-to-purpose tools are really complex for the business owners to manage and maintain. And quite often, they also come at a high cost because these tools require redesigning specific tools, language development, to scale beyond a specific departmental need. And last, about the legacy solutions or the legacy applications, they can be very rigid and cumbersome at times, let alone being costly and time-consuming for users that need to build simple solutions that scale across their organization. So how does Smartsheet address these challenges? So when we're talking about Smartsheet addressing these challenges, it does so in three simple ways, right? And the first of that is the simplicity. So as we know, as we are aware, and you would agree that no platform can provide value unless end users adopt it. That's why Smartsheet looks and feels like a spreadsheet where you first encounter it. Everyone knows how to work with it, and with the platform, they are familiar with the interface. From there, as you discover the advanced functionalities under the surface, you realize that they're very simple and easy to use. So adoption is the key for us when we think about Smartsheet. The second is your scalability. Now, Smartsheet was created to support organizations of all sizes, whether you're a part of small business or a Fortune 100 company. With that in mind, our platform offers dedicated capabilities to power work at any stage of growth. And last but not the least, and probably the most important for IT teams, is the security. A secure foundation, we all agree, is a prerequisite for an enterprise platform in today's world. So as most established CWM vendor, we've been at a forefront of defining security standards at our category from the start. So In my experience at Smartsheet and with Smartsheet, I've seen numerous examples where where Smartsheet is being leveraged for different use cases within the IT department, right? Whether it is managing a rollout of a new system or maybe even upgrading of an existing one. The other ones that I very commonly hear is streamlining and managing the ticketing system, connecting to different third-party systems and consolidating data from multiple sources into one centralized systems is all that Smartsheet can manage and a lot more. So with that being said, I would now hand it over to Dujati, who's going to cover the three main cases today. But that being said, it is not limited to those three use cases, right? It goes a lot beyond that, but for today's purpose of the demo, we're just kind of focusing on three main use cases, which is managing your projects in IT, integrating with your Jira applications, which is used in the industry a lot, and then consolidating the data from multiple systems into one centralized system. Thank you. And over to you, Dujati.
Thanks, Tina. So as Tina was telling that the thing of the hour is the hybrid model of working. So what the essence of a hybrid model is that everybody should be able to communicate and collaborate with each other effectively and efficiently so that any project they're involved in is a success for them. So that is where Smartsheet comes in. As Tina was telling that if you look at the Smartsheet, it's very simple. You can resemble it with any Excel sheet. That is where the simplicity comes in. On top of that simplicity, it allows you, it gives you the advantage of communicating and collaborating with your team members from the sheet itself. As you can see, this is a sheet where the project plan has been put in and you have the people assigned. You can set in automations or reminders to the different team members, intimating them that some tasks have been assigned to them. You can set up reminders 2 days before a task is due. With automation, which earlier we could have done in a manual way by calling up or sending an email, you can automate all those processes within Smartsheet, and it will help you to communicate and collaborate with the team in an effective way. Most importantly, against each of these tasks, you can communicate with your other team members. So everything, all the communication, everything stays within this sheet. So as you can see that this sheet becomes the building block for any Smartsheet and for the success of any projects. So once this sheet is there and you have all the data over here for the project managers or the people above to get a view of what's happening in the project, Smartsheet provides the ability to create a dashboard out of the information that is there already on the sheet. So whatever the information that you're seeing over here are all configurable. It's not that it is static. It has to be there for same for all the projects. It can be configured and designed as per your business processes or requests. So for this demo, we have prepared some of the matrices and the graphs and charts that are there. Now, for any IT project management, it may so happen that they might be moving on to Smartsheet as the latest adoption, but earlier they might be managing all the projects in a Jira platform. So Smartsheet provides an out-of-the-box connector with the Jira. So here, as you can see, we just need to provide the details of the Jira that is there, and the connector is automatically set up. Once it is set up, all the data from Jira will be pulled into Smartsheet and it will be residing in one of the sheets that you have. Yes, you can configure it as bi-directional or unidirectional. So if anybody making changes into Smartsheet, it will go and reflect in Jira, or if you make it unidirectional, it will depend on which direction you want the changes to. But you will have everything in one place. As is mentioned earlier, using this data that's already come in from Jira, you can create a dashboard out over here. You can see, you can create different matrices, you can create different charts and graphs out of it, so that people managing that project need not jump between applications, jump into Jira, see something, and then come back into Smartsheet. No, everything can be coordinated and collaborated from within Smartsheet. You don't have to worry about who is updating and what is getting updated in Jira. You come into Smartsheet, in one window, you see everything for yourself. Smartsheet also provides other connectors, but for this demo, we are just sticking to Jira, but Smartsheet has Salesforce connectors and we have Microsoft Dynamics connectors. Now, for some MNCs, it so happens that they have been there in this industry for quite long time, and for managing their projects, they might have built some in-house applications for them. Now they're adapting because of this hybrid model of whatever reason they are adapting to the Smartsheet. Now they want to bring in that data from that legacy system into Smartsheet so that they have a single place from where they can get all the picture and all the data. Smartsheet provides an premium add-on which is known as the data sheet. As you can see, there is an upload workflow and a offload workflow. So upload workflow, what it does is that from those legacy systems, you can export the data which you want to be imported into Smartsheet in either into an Excel sheet or a CSV file and place it in a document repository, be it a Google Drive or Box or within Smartsheet. Using data shuttle, we can configure that Excel sheet and map it to a sheet, and at regular intervals, as per the settings that have been done, data will be pulled in from that Excel sheet within Smartsheet. So this sheet that you see, there are data which are getting created within Smartsheet, and it also has data which has been pulled into from other legacy systems into Smartsheet. And you have in one place everything for you. What is offload workflows? Offload workflow is that it might be so happening that there are many departments who are using Smartsheet for their project management, but still you want to use a legacy system for actual reporting to your CXOs. Smartsheet allows you to export data into an Excel or CSV format in any other document, like I said, the Box or Google Drive or within Smartsheet. And that can be consumed by your legacy system, and the different reports or charts can be generated from there. So, see, over here also, we can have different dashboards created out of it. We have all these components are based on the data that has been pulled in from your legacy system, and these different charts and graphs can be. Again, I would reiterate over here that these graphs and charts that you're seeing are all configurable. It can be configured as per your business processes or business rules. That's all from my side. Thank you. Over to you, Vidya.
Thank you so much, Turjati. That was great. And just again, reminding all our participants, please put in your questions in the Q&A chat box, and we will answer them for sure at the end of the session. We now move on to our expert speak session. And I invite Anupreet Malhotra, Associate Director and Head of IT PMO from Acuity Knowledge Partners, to share her insights about the IT program management roadmap using Smartsheet. Over to you, Anupreet.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And a warm welcome to everyone who have participated and who are really excited to know more about Smartsheet. A little brief introduction. So I head the IT PMO office in the Acuity Knowledge Partners, which was previously called Moody's. We carved our way in 2019, and since then we have been way too aggressive to build up a system where we can manage all our projects and all our initiatives effectively. Keeping that in mind, a need to have a tool, a need to have a platform in place, really got instigated. And this is where we started, capturing all our business needs from various business units to see how we can, create a digital case in point and bring in more multiple transitions cross-functionally, wherever we see a lot of IT dependency, whether it is IT or whether it is non-IT dependency. And this is where, our journey to discover, to identify new tools, new platforms started. In the past 4-5 years, what we have seen that we got very aggressive in mergers and acquisitions. We wanted to do a lot of due diligence internally. We saw a lot of risks. We saw a lot of demands. We wanted to mobilize a lot of resources. So all this actually brought us to a level where we start evaluating our internal needs. And this is where, if you look at the overall roadmap that is presented on the screen, that all started. So what instigated it? So with all of us sitting in this hybrid and the COVID situation also, creating a digital world was not that easy. With me, virtually being onboarded, it was very, very hard. I could feel that there are a lot of unrealistic deadlines coming in. There were unclear goals and objectives being set, and a lot of accountability, which is there in the top 3 challenges that I had in my mind from my own experience here. So that this is where we started looking into internal assessment. We wanted to clear our internal house of what we need, what we want, and we did the gap assessment. We did the entire requirement gathering of where we want to take this journey, because this is not a short-term solution that we are seeking. This is a strategic decision that we want to take up. And basis all the interactions with cross-functional team, I could sense that there is a lot of demand. And when I say demands were not just about major projects. It was all from automation, transformation, process improvements, migrations that we talked about. So it was a mixed bag of projects. And we started building up a framework, how we want to go ahead, what kind of tool we want, and what we are expecting as a design, as an end customer. We started building up what is going to be a major, minor project, whether we're going to do it in-house or we're going to engage externally. So all these things led to a journey where we went out in the market, started evaluating multiple products, looked into their demos, their analysis, and basis our own evaluation history, we were able to identify Smartsheet because that was the right fit from the very start when we saw it. Our pain areas were about the real-time data, getting the right reports at the right time to this hierarchy of stakeholders that we are managing. What kind of progress management happens, how we want to manage our resources, the capacity planning, everything. We really wanted to have those workflows that can be easily built, that can help us sustain and bring, take those decisions easily, those strategic decisions that we're talking about, one-click real-time information. And this is where we landed up implementing Smartsheet. In this month, we have completed 1 year in the system with Smartsheet. Can you move to the next slide? So the implementation was really very easy. The experience was really very easy. The only thing which we really had to work very hard was the adoption. Virtually, we had to do a lot of hand holding. While the product is fantastic, it's very user friendly. It is important that you communicate well, that you talk about what this tool is going to benefit you all about. Show the demo. We started doing a lot of demos about this product, how the dashboards, which we just saw, how easy it is and how it makes our life, day in, day out easy. We don't have to open a lot of mails every day, because for me, the start is Smartsheet, the end is Smartsheet every day. Yeah. So and today we are sitting at a place where we are sending out surveys to understand what has been the user experience, how comfortable they are. We're gathering new use cases, because that is our next step. The next 6 months of journey is what we are going to take. And yes, Smartsheet has a lot of information. I mean, there's no dearth of knowledge with Smartsheet, and our next course of journey is to find more modules that we can integrate, like resource management, because that is well integrated with your project management tool. So yeah, that's been the journey, and really happy with what we decided and onboarded. So thank you, Smartsheet, for these fantastic offerings. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anupreet, for sharing your insights, and I'm sure that would be helpful to all of our participants. Let's move forward to our next section, which is the poll and the expert panel discussion. As I mentioned earlier, we will be launching a live poll during this segment. You should be able to see the poll on your screens right now. You will all have about 20 seconds to record your answers. Please note that it's a multiple choice answer, so please check all the boxes that you think are relevant. The poll is now ended, and we will be sharing the results. You should all be able to see the results on your screen right now. Thank you so much for answering this poll to all our participants. Kush and Anupreet, it would be really interesting to know your view on the poll pulse, and if they align to the challenges you or your customers have encountered.
I mean, looking into the options and the poll results, I think I resonate with what people are saying, that the lack of communication as well as the complexity, because we tend to not invest enough time during our planning and the initial requirement gathering. We have to look into all the dependencies, risks, and from all cross-functional teams. So that is where things become very complex at a later stage. That I've seen. Secondly, the lack of communication, what you intend to do, the goals and the objectives should be made very clear, quantifiably as well as qualitatively at the very start, because that is what it drives you at the later stage, and provides a better turnaround time for your projects to be delivered.
Yeah, and I also kind of, resonates very well with what we hear from our customers all the time. Like in terms of the top things that we hear over and over, it's really about, as Anupreet said, it's about clearly defining those business objectives. It's being able to manage the entire inventory of projects that you've got at any given time, being able to prioritize them by leveraging all of that project-related data which is available to you. And finally, it's about standardizing and automating and replicating projects with defined templates, workflows, and dashboards. These are the things we sort of seem to hear all the time.
Thank you so much for your insights, Kush. We'll now move on to our next question of the poll, and all of you should be able to see the next question on your screen. Thank you so much to our wonderful audience. A lot of you have participated in this, and we have now ended the poll, and you should be able to see the results on your screen now. So, Karthik, what are your perspectives on transforming IT project management? What are the key functions or areas to focus as we start the transformation journey?
Right. Thanks, Vidyu. So, I think I kind of agree with the audience. Essentially, real-time online collaboration is absolutely critical to any project and program management, right? Considering the fact that if it's a large, complex project, there are several moving parts. It's very critical that all the relevant stakeholders are aware of the overall status. The project team members are in sync with the current project status. And of course, all of that needs to be real up to date, right? And that's where I think Smartsheet plays a very critical role in terms of having that online real-time updates, right? You can just kind of log in and you can check the latest status, drill down, look at your individual tasks, look at separate workflows, and figure out what's happening there, right? So I think that's absolutely critical. Also considering the fact that you have to be able to identify your risks and issues beforehand. You need to have that structured governance, right? Daily stand-up calls, weekly project reviews and so on, right? And ensure that the risks and issues are mitigated at the earliest. So I think, the collaboration is very, very critical to the overall project delivery, right? So absolutely, I think that's very clear. And, in terms of the automation, again, traceability, clear documentation. I think that's kind of interrelated as well, because, often when we kind of deliver on our projects, we realize that, there's a lot of manual follow-ups, approvals needed, go and search in emails, it's a lot of manual tasks, which obviously tends to become very inefficient as well, right? Now, obviously, Smartsheet provides that platform where you actually go in, you're able to kind of, tag each of your tasks to certain evidences, proofs, the fact that no task is now completed. There are evidences against it, and all of it is completely on, right? You also have a traceability, you have a log to determine, okay, when did this happen? You have the complete audit in place as well. So, I think all of that certainly contributes to the overall success of the engagement.
Thank you so much, Karthik. Before we move on to the Q&A section now, Shekhar will now talk about getting started with the Smartsheet. Over to you, Shekhar.
Thank you, Vidyu. Yeah, thank you everyone for your patient hearing and understanding the value and the immense benefits that Smartsheet can bring to your portfolio. We've worked with some of the leading technology companies that I've mentioned in bringing them into the Smartsheet ecosystem, and how it's really transformed their IT project management, and obviously different ability to integrate with their enterprise systems like Salesforce, Microsoft Dynamics, the ticketing systems like ServiceNow, Jira, etc. And how we've taken them from understanding what the challenges are. So, the way we could help you as Intelliswift is to ensure that we first understand what your challenges are, and then, what are the right areas of focus or functions that we could start with, and then, build a roadmap for you in terms of what are the different functions in your organizations which could adopt or benefit from leveraging Smartsheet. So so keeping that in mind, we typically what we have is we first start with one or two functions, do a POC with your leadership, understand what benefits it can, then work with your leadership to ensure that this is something which you can try and then implement as a first step, and then create a long, medium, and a long-term roadmap in terms of what's the ROI, what's the adoption rate that you should look for, and how you can ensure that you can leverage all the key functions and capabilities of Smartsheet, right? So we would definitely be glad as a next step to work with each one of you to walk you through the key modules with your senior leadership and portfolio leaders. We could also take a particular use case that from the challenges that you're facing, and see how we could demonstrate that as a part of our demo sessions. The other option that we have, and where we work with customers who are really a large organization looking to aggressively implement Smartsheet, as we could also test drive some of your key processes and ensure that your leadership and your organization, your team, understand the value proposition that Smartsheet brings. And of course, right, this would be a paid exercise from a Smartsheet test drive, but definitely will ensure that these are discounted consulting rates. We would highly encourage you to download the Smartsheet trial version. Of course, we've displayed the QR code here, but yeah, you could get them in the website as well. And if you're able to sign up in the next few days, we definitely would get you a 20% discount, and specifically new licenses. We are looking forward to working with you to ensure that we demonstrate the value that Smartsheet brings to your organization, and work with you and your team, convince your leadership on the value that this can bring in your overall IT objectives. So thank you again, and thanks with you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Shekhar. So we'll now move on to the Q&A section, and all participants, if you have any questions, please put it in the chat box below, in the Q&A chat box. And there were a few questions that have been answered. So is there a provision within Smartsheet, being an enterprise user, where I can provide feedback regarding some of the improvements that I wish to see? It could possibly not be implemented immediately, but could be considered during a version update or release. So Tina says that, yes, we would love to hear your feedback, as we are constantly striving to do better. and you can use the link in the link has been, it's a community link that has been added in the Q&A chat box. All the participants, you can use that link if you would like to submit any feedback about improvements that you would like to see in the product. And Sana has asked, are Jira and Smartsheet the same? Tina says that, Jira is a product built by a company called Atlassian, and it's focused quite specifically for product development, whereas Smartsheet is used as much by businesses, not just IT, but also operations, HR, finance, sales, PMO teams, as it is by IT. And Smartsheet does have a Jira connector, though, that we showed in our demo as well, which automatically pulls the epics and stories into Smartsheet. And you can leverage Smartsheet dashboard capability to get the visibility into your sprints and projects. Another question that we have seen from Manish is, are the dashboard reports interactive? So yes, you can click on them to drill down to the source of truth. So yes, the dashboard reports are interactive.
Thank you, Vidyu. For the participants, if there are any questions, please feel free to reach out to us, and we could answer them offline or get into a call with you and your team and ensure that any open questions that you may have regarding Smartsheet or the value that brings to your organizations is something we could definitely provide a one-on-one clarifications with you. There's a new question from Srinivasan. Tina, if you could answer.
So we are working towards getting it integrated with AI and making it enabled. So more on it to come very soon. If you actually Google the link that Kush has just put in the chat, or in response to that question, you can find more information on what Smartsheet is kind of bringing for you in that area.
Yeah, I mean, we're very active. We are using a lot of Gen AI capability and bringing it to right inside the platform. And in fact, there is a YouTube link floating around somewhere. Just this morning, our CEO, Mark Mader, was discussing exactly what we're doing with some of this Gen AI capability. But it's really exciting. So between the 22nd to the 24th of September, we have our annual user conference called Engage. And that's when we're going to be kind of releasing it publicly. So we should kind of look out for it. As a company, we're quite excited.
Thank you so much, Kush.
Thank you to all our participants for filling out the feedback survey. So please don't hesitate to contact us if you have any questions or you want to dive deeper into some of the topics we covered. I want to thank all our panelists, Kush, Tina, Anupreet, Shekhar, and Karthik, and thank you to all our wonderful audience for attending. We would love to see you again at our next webinar. Please do keep an eye out for our upcoming events. We will send out emailers. We also share on our social handles on the Intelliswift LinkedIn page. And we hope to have you back with us soon. And I hope you found this webinar helpful, insightful, and was a stepping stone to level up your project management practices. Thanks again for joining us today, and have a great rest of your day. Thanks, everyone.